The government's controversial plan to censor the internet has been put off for at least a year. The Communications Minister, Stephen Conroy, said today that more time was needed to review what types of online content would be banned. In the meantime, 3 internet service providers have agreed to voluntarily block websites containing child pornography. John Stewart reports.
There's been plenty of opposition to the government's plan to filter the internet, and today the Communications Minister moved to delay the controversial policy for another year. Senator Conroy says that more time is needed to review what material should be included in the refused classification rating and what websites will be banned.
The aim of this review will be to examine the current scope of the existing RC classification and, in particular, whether it adequately reflects current community standards.
Senator Conroy says the government's list of banned sites will remain secret, but the blacklist will now be reviewed each year by an independent expert, and those whose internet sites are blocked will be able to appeal against the decision. While a 12-month review of the refused classification rating is underway, 3 internet service providers, Telstra, Optus and Primus, have agreed to block child pornography websites.
They have agreed that as soon as practicable, they will block child abuse URLs on a list provided to them by the Australian Communications and Media Authority.
Optus today admitted that blocking access to child porn sites will not stop the more secret internet file transfer networks.
The filter process is one part of the solution. There is many peer-to-peer and virtual private network type traffic which will not be captured by this particular filter. So we work with the federal police to address all of those sorts of other issues to make sure we do what we can.
The Greens say the government's decision to delay the mandatory internet filter is an admission the policy is flawed.
Most of the really toxic material is not actually traded on live websites on the World Wide Web. It's on the darknet and it's in places where the filter simply won't be able to reach.
But Christian groups say the voluntary blocking of child porn sites by internet service providers is a step in the right direction and want a mandatory filter applied to all Australian ISPs.
Why that's controversial, why parties like the Greens don't support protecting children in this way is very disappointing, but really all the filter will do is give effect to the existing laws which are being circumvented by overseas internet websites.
Those opposed to the mandatory internet filter say the list of banned sites will be subject to pressure groups and political whim.
We are worried about future scope creep, that whatever the Attorneys-General might decide is appropriate to filter next July might be very different 3 months later, the next time some moral panic comes down the line.
The conservative Christian groups will be lobbying very hard to add everything they want to add to that category. You will have people opposed to the filter wanting to remove things from refused classification, which they think go too far. And every lobby group that has something that they don't want to see on the internet, gambling, whatever it might be, they will all be lobbying hard.
Senator Conroy says the 12-month delay is not designed to appease international critics of the plan, including Google and the United States government.
We have been very clear. The internet needs to be free. It needs to be free the way we have said skies have to be free, outer space has to be free, the polar caps have to be free, the oceans have to be free.
And now the government may be free of another controversial election issue. John Stewart, Lateline.